there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. So today I do have a book haul. I went to a library sale a couple of weeks ago and I'm finally sitting down to film this, and I really need to go ahead because I have a stack of books here to share with you. I went to this library sale last year and just was out of control. I just bought too many. This time I really honed in on what I wanted. I was like, okay, these are the books. I've actually started keeping a little notebook, and I mean I have an Excel spreadsheet of all the books I have in my library, but this was more of a, okay, these are the series I'm trying to collect and those kind of things. So that helped me. I took it along with me and we had a great time. My husband and I made it a date, and it was about an hour and a half away. So we went to the sale and then we went to lunch, and it was just a wonderful time. And I will try to put in some footage as we go. But these are some of the books that I found and I'm excited about it. Before I do that though, Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books, she is one of my best friends on BookTube. We read a lot of the same things, and we have a lot of the same ideas about things in life, and we're about the same age. So we just share a lot of the same ideas, and I really enjoy our relationship on BookTube. And so she had told me that she had a book that she wanted to send to me, and then she sent me this quick message and it was like, I have some Miss Read books too. So she just put those in since she was already mailing me something out. So I do have that from Elizabeth first. She sent me 3 books. First, she sent me 2 Miss Read books. Miss Read News from Thrush Green, and then Village School. So that's 2 series for Miss Read. I am trying to collect all the Miss Read books that I can. I find them here and there, but I tell you, it's harder and harder to find the Miss Read books. I guess more people have caught on to how great they are, and so you can't find them like you used to. But I am trying to collect all the Miss Read series, but the standalones too, and I'm really enjoying that. So thank you to Elizabeth for sending me 2 Miss Read books. And then this is the main reason she wanted to send me the Christmas shoes, because if you follow my channel, you know that I have, I think, the next 3 in this series, but she wanted me to read them in order, and I didn't have the first one, which is the Christmas shoes. So I plan on going ahead and getting started with this as soon as Victober is done, or I'm finished with my books for Victorian literature. I'm going to go ahead and start this because I want to read, well, I want to read the whole series this Christmas. And they're not that long either, but I'm very excited that she sent me the first one because I did want to read it in order if I could. So thank you to Elizabeth for sending me this one too. So she sent me 3 fabulous books to add to my collection of the things that I'm really trying to add to my bookshelves, because I do again have certain books that I am trying to collect. So thank you to Elizabeth. She's again a great friend. If you haven't followed her channel, please do so. I'll leave a link to her below. So these are the books that I found at the library sale when my husband and I went a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just so excited to share them with you. Okay, so we'll start with some mysteries. I have heard a lot about Joanne Fluke, and so when I saw this one, and it's called Apple Turnover Murder, I had to have it for 2 reasons. One is because I have heard of this series before. I know this isn't the first one, but the other reason is because my favorite thing in the world is apple pie. I love apple turnovers, apple pie, any kind of apple tarts or anything apple I love. So of course I had to have it, and I love this green color. And so I know this isn't the first one. Let me know if I do need to read these in order, so I'll go find the others. But these were super cheap, so I thought I would add this one to my bag. And I don't know anything, again, I don't know anything about this series, but I have heard that a lot of people enjoy it. Now I know I have the first book in this series. This one is from the Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, I think it's the first one. This is The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. And then there was another one, The Golden Tresses of the Dead. I really like the color of that one. But these were 2 I didn't have. I have like 2 others in this series, and I haven't started this yet. I need to. Maybe during Cloak and Dagger Christmas I could start this series, but this is one that I've been interested in, and several of you have recommended that series to me, so I need to get started with that one. And then I also have some MC beaten already from this series. I didn't have this one. It's the Agatha Raisin Mysteries, and that is The Blood of an Englishman. And I didn't have this one, so I was excited to pick it up. Again, these are super cheap, so you know, you just throw them in your bag. If you follow my channel, you know that I am trying to collect the Mitford series. I have most of the Mitford, the first several, almost all of them, but I didn't have these two, and so I was excited to pick them up. In the Company of Others, and then Somewhere Safe with Somebody Good. I was excited because these are in great shape and they're hardbacks too, so I was excited to see these. I usually pick up a lot of middle grade, but I didn't see that many that I wanted, but I did find two, and that is Ralph S. Mouse by Beverly Cleary. I love Beverly Cleary. I always call myself a Judy Blume Beverly Cleary girl because when I was in school, those two authors were super popular for middle grade, and so this is one I've read before, but I didn't have a hardback cover. And if there is any hardcover editions of anything Beverly Cleary, I usually try to pick it up, and this one was in good shape. I think it's like an ex-library book. And then this one, I remember seeing this as a child. I don't know that I read it, but it does look familiar. The Bad Times of Irma Bomlene, or I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but it's by Carol Ryrie Brink. And I know that she's written a lot of things that are super popular, so I thought I would try this one. I did like the cover of that. That looked interesting. And on the back, there's this little group of people that looked interesting too, so I was excited to pick this one up. Let me know if you've read this. It looks familiar to me, so I might have already read it. I'm not sure. I also picked up a Barbara Pym. I have this, but I have it in paperback. And this one, I've talked about Quartet in Autumn before and that ugly cover, but I will never get rid of that book because I loved it so much. So I found it in that same edition, but this cover's prettier. I like the cover of this one better. But it's Excellent Women. I have read this, but again, I had a paperback, and I do plan on revisiting it because I really enjoy Barbara Pym's work. And after I'm done reading her books, I want to go back through it and read them all again. So I was excited to find a hardcover of this one. Now, speaking of Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books, she has talked to me about reading this. So Elizabeth, if you watch this and you still want to buddy read this, I found a copy. I didn't have a copy of it before. And that is A Man Called Peter by Catherine Marshall. Now, this doesn't have any kind of cover on it. But this is one that she had told me about, and I think she has a copy and wanted to buddy read it. So now I have a copy, so we can do that. And then the other by Catherine Marshall is The Prayers of Peter Marshall. So I was excited about that. Catherine Marshall was married to Peter Marshall. Catherine Marshall wrote Christy, which is fantastic if you haven't read it. She wrote some other things too, but her husband was a pastor, and so these are two books. One is one she wrote about him, and then the other are some prayers by Peter Marshall. So I was excited to pick these up to add to my Catherine Marshall collection. Now, I've already mentioned this in my Moore Montgomery Challenge announcement, but I did pick this up then at the library sale, and I was super excited because Elizabeth, again, I'm talking a lot about Elizabeth. Elizabeth, again, has talked about this book, and it is the Anne of Green Gables devotional. And I have the one, this is by Rachel Dodge. I have the one about Jane Austen that I loved. During Jane Austen July, I read that. So I thought this would be great to pick up during our Moore Montgomery Challenge in November. And she highly recommended this one, so I can't wait to get to this one. I was super excited. It is in great shape, and it also has these really pretty illustrations in it too, so I was excited for that. So this one is probably my favorite pick from the whole bunch. I've heard a lot about Clyde Edgerton, and this is Walking Across Egypt, so I picked this one up. And then this one I had never heard of, but I like the cover. It was Love Will Bring You Back. It's called Homecoming, a Sweetland novel by Lacey Baker. I mean, look at that cover. That just looks like something I would love. I would love to be sitting out on that porch And so I love that. And then another book I picked up that is just random, and that is a Debbie Macomber book, Return to Promise. Look at that beautiful cover too. I just thought that was a beautiful cover, and so I wanted to pick this up. Do you know I've never read Debbie Macomber? I know that's horrible, but I know that we're going to do kind of a readathon in December for Debbie Macomber. So there are a couple of her books in the stack, because every time I go to a library sale, they will have a designated spot of Debbie Macomber books, and I never pick them up. So this time I decided I would put a few in my bag. I also picked up a few classics that I couldn't resist. This is a cute little paperback of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories. I liked it for the little, I guess that's supposed to be for the Headless Horseman down here. Is that what that is? I can't see, but I think that's what that is there. And the big moon. I just thought it was a beautiful cover. And then this is just an old paperback of Pride and Prejudice. And if you follow my channel, you know I love Pride and Prejudice, so I had to have that. This is one I'm excited about because I am reading through the Nancy Drew, and then I plan on reading some Hardy Boys too. And this is the second Hardy Boys, The House on the Cliff. So I wanted that. It's a hardcover. I was excited for that one. A couple of other vintage books. The Snow Goose by Paul Gallico. Paul Gallico wrote the Miss Eris Goes to Paris books. I love those. I highly recommend them. I have a couple of Paul Gallico Christmassy kind of short stories too that are like this. So I'm wondering if this is maybe a Christmas type story too. I'm not sure. Let me know if you've read it. And then I found a copy of This Rough Magic by Mary Stewart. I already have this. So this is my third copy, and here's why. Because I had another copy that I was giving out to you. I had done a giveaway, and the person that won never gave me their address. So it's still sitting in my closet right now. It has a little tear, but this one's actually in perfect shape. So I'm going to try again. If you would like this book, let me know in the comments. But here's the thing. If I say that you won and I draw your name, you have to give me your address so that I can mail it to you. So if you don't want to give me your address to mail this, then just don't enter. Because that's what's happened twice. I've had two different people. I've said, email me your address, and then I never hear from them. So you've got to email me your address if you want this book. So let me know in the comments if you would like it, and I will have a drawing, and then I will come back, and you'll have to check your comments because I will come back. I'll give a few days. So let's say a week from today, come back and see if I chose you. Okay? And then we will go from there. And if I draw your name, you will have to send me your address or I can't get it to you. I hope that makes sense. But, I've tried that before, and then when they win, they don't send me their address. So you have to send me your address if you want me to deliver you the package. So this is a book that is really good. I love Mary Stewart, and if you love Mary Stewart and you want a nice vintage copy, leave me a comment, and I will put you in the drawing for this. I also found a couple of other Mary Stewarts that I did not have, so I was excited about that. The Moon Spinners. This one's short. I didn't realize it was that short. And then the Gabriel Hounds. So I was so excited because I don't have these two. So these were great to add to my Mary Stewart collection. And then one other vintage book is Two Tales by Charlotte Bronte, The Secret and Lily Heart. I don't know if you can see that because how the cover looks. Can you see that beautiful cover? But I was really excited about this. I'm not sure even what it is, but when it said Charlotte Bronte, it has like some manuscripts and things in it. So I'm excited to look through this, and I thought during Victober I would check this book out. And then I always gravitate toward the Christmas books. They have a section of just Christmas books. So of course I had to pick up several of those. The Christmas Quest by Julia Glover. I don't know what this is, but I am super interested in that. It's not very long. And then some Debbie Macomber. I mentioned that earlier. So I found The Christmas Spirit, Where Angels Go, and 1225 Christmas Tree Lane. So those are some Debbie Macomber I can read in December. And then The Quiet Little Woman, A Christmas Story by Louisa May Alcott. I thought that would be a great one to have out because, again, it's a short one. This is by Susan Wiggs, Again, if you have read any of these, let me know. Lakeshore Christmas. This is from the Lakeshore Chronicles. So I'm wondering if I need to read this in a certain order. I'm not sure. Love the cover on this one. This was so cute, and it's pertaining to Mitford. It's a Jan Karon book. It's called The Mitford Snowmen, and it's a little Christmas story. Look how cute that is. It has a little snowman on the back. I just couldn't resist that one. I just thought that was too cute. And then this is Santa Mouse. This was from the 1960s, I think. It's a little picture book. So, of course, I had to have it. I love the way that there is this border around it. Can you see that? I love that. A little mouse. And then on the inside, of course, there's sweet little vintage. There's a vintage Santa Claus. Isn't he precious? So I was excited for this one, of course, because I could put that out with all my other Christmas books. And then I found this Santa Claus coloring book. Y'all, look how cute this is. I love it. And it has not been colored in at all. It has these yellow pages. Of course, it's yellowed from time. But it, hasn't been colored in. And I love coloring at Christmas time. I don't like complicated. You have the adult coloring books. Well, I don't. That's too complex for me. I like a primary, easy coloring book. But I'm debating on whether or not I should color in these or just make copies. I might just make a copy. I'm not sure. Because I do like that it hasn't been colored in. And I just thought it was just so pretty. The cover and everything. And I just like this vintage Santa there. It caught my attention, so I was excited for that. So those are the books that I found at the library sale. Again, thank you to Elizabeth for sending me a couple of Miss Read books, as well as the Christmas shoes, because I can't wait to start that series. And I'm just going to read through that series for Christmas. I'm excited for that. And these books get me excited for the holidays. I don't know why. I just get really excited about all the books during Christmas. Are you like that? Let me know in the comments. So have you read any of these? Let me know in the comments. And if you want the Mary Stuart book, let me know that too so I can put you in the drawing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.